Ready? Okay. Yes. Good evening. I hope you all enjoyed the dinner. Our live stream just started, so let me reintroduce myself. I'm Feng Shenghu, Dean of Arts and Sciences. Whether you are here with us or watching our live stream, it is my privilege to welcome you to tonight's event, the Arts and Sciences Distinguished Alumni Awards. Thank you for helping us celebrate this year's extraordinary honorees. Tonight, we will recognize an Early Career Achievement Award winner, 2 distinguished alumni, and 2 Dean's medalists for their outstanding careers and continuing dedication to their alma mater, Arts and Sciences at Washington University. For those of you here in the room, if you look around, you'll notice several alumni wearing red ribbons. These signify that the wearer has received an Arts and Sciences Distinguished Alumni Award or Dean's Medal in prior years. Would all of the previous recipients please stand? We are also honored to have the support of the Arts and Sciences National Council. Many of the council members are here tonight. They provide invaluable perspectives on issues of critical importance to the future of arts and sciences and play a vital role in advising me as well as my senior leadership team. If the members of the council could please stand. Thank you for your continued support and guidance. I also want to take a moment to recognize our selection committee. With the exception of the Dean's medalists, this year's award winners were selected by an anonymous committee of previous recipients, faculty, and alumni volunteers. Given the number of outstanding alumni we have in arts and sciences, it's not a quick or easy process. And I won't ask these anonymous members to stand. But I thank them for their many hours of service and excellent work. This year's recipients are remarkable individuals who represent the impact of liberal arts education. Among them, they studied economics, education, entrepreneurship, political science, math, drama, the humanities, law, and social work. And their interests and outcomes represent both the breadth and depth inherent to arts and sciences. Tonight's honorees have combined their education with personal experiences and incredible vision, and each has made outstanding contributions to their local communities and our global society. I hope you enjoy hearing their stories as much as I have. To the honorees' families and dear friends, thank you for supporting these exceptional members of our community. They will be the first to tell you that their achievements were made possible with the help of your support and encouragement over the years. And now, to help recognize our Early Career Achievement Award winner, I invite Professor Betsy Sinclair to the podium.
Thank you very much. I'm Betsy Sinclair. I'm a professor of political science, and I'm the associate chair of my department. That means I'm at the very beginning of what's going to happen with my time as department chair. And it's a tremendous privilege to have the opportunity to introduce to you the award winner this evening. Here, I'm so pleased to be here this evening to introduce the recipient of this year's Early Career Achievement Award. For this honor, the selection committee chooses a graduate 45 years of age or younger who has shown tremendous accomplishment in the early years of their career. I'm proud to announce that this year's award goes to Morgan DeBon. Morgan graduated from WashU in 2012 with a double major in education and entrepreneurship and a major in, I'm pleased to say, political science. Let's hear more about her path.
I'm Morgan DeBon, CEO and founder of Blavity. I'm a native St. Louisan. I created my company 8 years ago with my friends from WashU. At the end of the day, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Blavity has really 3 companies underneath it: Afrotech, our media brands, and then our ad solutions business. And I'm motivated most by making an impact on the Black community and creating access and building tools and platforms that will actually allow us to scale our greater impact as Black culture, which is an incredibly huge driver of innovation and capital within this country, but doesn't always get the credit that we deserve. When I first got to campus, I was a bit of a gunner. I ran for freshman class president, so I was like a student group girl all the way through. I eventually ran for student body president as a sophomore and won. That completely changed my life because it really taught me about power. I was a student rep on the board of trustees, which was like an incredible opportunity and really gave me a chance to see how decisions were made at the university level, from corporations to family offices to the investments in real estate. And ultimately, that was one of the drivers on why I decided to become an entrepreneur. I started off in the business school when I first got to campus because I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Ultimately, I moved over to the political sciences department because, what is poli-sci if not just as being a student of leaders? I knew that in order to make an impact on the world in the way that was important to me, I was going to have to become a student of leadership. The biggest person who had an influence on me was, of course, Dean McLeod. There's no Irvin that you could ask that wouldn't say Dean M. He just had this really calming but inspiring way of making you feel like you were heard, and then also setting the bar very high for what you needed to do, right? To be a representative of yourself, of your vision, of your actual colleagues and peers in the Irvin program. And I started my company, now we're 8 years old, but I started it with WashU alumni, and I met them here on campus. And a lot of that community was because Dean McLeod put an incredible group of people together. As an alumni, I always try to give back to the community. I joined the Brookings Commission with Olin to focus on helping to build public policy recommendations for getting more venture funding to women and people of color. More recently, I've also been doing speaking engagements and just making sure that my story can be told to some of the students that are currently on campus so that they know it's possible. You can major in whatever you want to major in and still come out and have an incredible career in entrepreneurship or build your innovation and bring it to life. It's such an honor to receive an award from the university. As an alumni, it's like you spend 4 years on campus and then you wonder, does anybody see me? And so it's really incredible to be able to receive an award and be acknowledged by my peers as well as the university. I hope that people remember me as someone who challenged the barriers, that challenged the authority, and ultimately made the campus a better place by advocating for the underdog. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Morgan, on your truly remarkable success in media and technology, and also your commitment to promoting and supporting diverse voices. I'm just delighted to recognize you with this Arts and Sciences Early Career Achievement Award.
Thank you so much. That video was so good. As the video said, I started in the B School, and while I'm grateful for the foundation of learning the basics of business, I don't think I would have been here today without arts and sciences because it gave me the freedom to just live my life. It gave me freedom to pick my own path, to pick my own classes, and to be with the diversity of all of the different majors that exist in arts and sciences. So I'm just so grateful for that. Of course, I want to thank my family, who, definitely advocated for me to come to WashU, and certainly was surprised when I decided to quit my job and start a company at 24, but has supported me along the way. And of course, also thank the Urban Scholars Program and Dee McLeod for the chance to go here on a full ride, which was incredible. So thank you so much for the honor.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sophia Hayes, and what an amazing evening this is. I'm a professor of chemistry and a vice dean of graduate education in arts and sciences. I have the pleasure of introducing our next category of award winners, our distinguished alumni. The Distinguished Alumni Awards honor graduates from our undergraduate, master's, and doctoral programs. The awards recognize individuals who exemplify the ideals of a liberal arts education and bring distinction to Washington University through their lives, their work, and service. Tonight's honorees have pursued influential careers and unique opportunities for leadership. Their work has capitalized on curiosity and knowledge, spanning multiple fields and disciplines. They are now brilliant examples of success, nurtured from the study and application of economics, political science, business, communications, and design. Let's meet our two distinguished alumni honorees.
I grew up in a Navy family. Dad was a career sailor. I graduated from high school in 1972. For the history buffs in the audience, the Vietnam War was still going on, so the military was in my future. And I ended up flying on airplanes for 3 years around the Soviet Union. I went to college with a newfound confidence that I could go there. I went to the University of Oklahoma, which was a state school. One of the things I discovered was economics. For me, college was a discovery process that set me on a path that I followed the rest of my life. I had some really wonderful professors at the University of Oklahoma. Eden Yu, he said, have you considered going to graduate school? And I said, what is graduate school? I got admitted to WashU, and I got admitted with a full ride fellowship to come here. At WashU, I found both tracks to be superb. The first year teachers and curriculum was incredible, and then the second and beyond were incredible too. Wilhelm Neufein is teaching a course in analytics. Larry Myers is teaching the course in macroeconomics, and Greenberg's teaching the course in econometrics, and Prout Rader is teaching a course. So not only are you intimidated, but it's really hard. It was very fulfilling. I learned a lot. I just ran into a lot of really good people that helped me at various points in my educational process here. Murray Wiedenbaum was a prominent economist here at WashU. He had kind of pioneered the field of understanding the economic costs of regulation, which brought him to the attention of Ronald Reagan. When he became president in 1980, he selected Murray to be his first chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors. In the second year he was there, he brought me in. I was one of his research assistants to help him and to have a role in helping the council prepare policy papers on various ideas that were kicking about. I really did not know or think that I had an interest in public policy, particularly from an economics point of view. It was quite an educational experience for me to find myself there doing that. Most of my research career was in the field of industrial organization. That's kind of Lee Benham's influence on me, and business and economics, which is Bill Marshall's influence, and then the political economy area, which was kind of Barry Weingast's influence. And I did this for 20 years and had a great academic career. Ended up at USC in the business school there and taught undergraduates and MBA students and had a very good time doing it. When Murray took me to the Council of Economic Advisors, I developed this kind of itch for public policy. So that's always been in the back of my mind. And then when I was at USC, I took a year sabbatical to go to the Hoover Institution at Stanford University just to do research. In 2015, they were looking to replace a longtime director at the Hoover Institution, and they just called me up and I said, sure, I'll do that. hardly anything in life doesn't happen without some kind of connection, one way or another. And I think the breadth of WashU and how easy it was to mingle around WashU caused me to meet many, many people that I ran into later in life. I just remember my life being so advantaged by people providing opportunities to me that didn't naturally occur. I think fundamentally just making sure that other people are afforded the opportunities that WashU gave me was the reason why I gave back to WashU. A place like WashU is like one of the best buffets you've ever been to, is a way to think about it. And even though it may hurt to gorge yourself intellectually on a lot of different stuff, try to at least sample from it to decide what your preferences are and what kind of questions really make you curious.
Tom, in recognition of your achievements in economics, your esteemed career in academia, and your dedication to student learning, I'm proud to name you a distinguished alumnus of Arts and Sciences. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Dean Hu, and thank you to the faculty and staff of the Arts and Science School for this honor. Thank you to the anonymous selectors who we discovered earlier tonight for this selection. I really appreciate that. I think if there's a theme in that video, and theme of my life is that I've been blessed with, I've been surrounded by fabulous people. And when I was at WashU, I had fabulous professors, many of whom are here tonight. Lee Benham's here with his wife, Alexandra. Other people here from WashU. Bob Virgil, who was dean of the business school then. Bob was instrumental, although he didn't know it. He provided a home for a lot of students, graduate students throughout the university, regardless of their home, where they could do research and support activities that they needed to do to get their dissertations done. So Bob, we really appreciate that. That was so much fun. And it was just great. It was great being at WashU. I had such a wonderful experience here. My life was blessed by other great associations. Before the Hoover Institution, I was the dean of the business school at the University of Texas at Austin, which was a stunning experience for me. And like you, I think one of the great pleasures of deaning, if that's a verb, was that you get to be an active participant in the progress of so many people, not only students, but faculty members, and anybody who comes to a great institution like WashU trying to achieve great human things. And University of Texas was that for me. I have my great friend Kenny Jastro here, who was chairman of the selection committee that selected me as dean. So Kenny, I really appreciate what you did for me at UT. Jason Van Eaton is here. He's a colleague of mine at Southwest Airlines, another Texan. Again, examples of people who surround me and support me and all the things that I want to do and make me better than I could or should be. So I really appreciate that. Now, of course, my biggest blessing in life is my family. I have all my children here. And I won't be able to talk about this without cracking up, so excuse me for this. But I have my eldest daughter, Leah, who has blessed us with 2 grandchildren, which we love a lot. We're having a lot of fun with. We kind of have lost we no longer see the need for our children now that we have grandchildren, right? So that's a big deal. So Leah, I'll try to overcome that. We appreciate that. Our daughter, Laura, and her husband, Adrivet, are here, and we appreciate them coming. My son, Patrick, is here, and we appreciate you guys coming. And Carrie and Debbie Skinner are our sisters and brother-in-law. I really appreciate you being here, so thanks for seeing you. I also have a special friend. I've had a friend since 1972, Steve Gill, and we met in the service, and I've known him forever, and he just keeps popping up on my life. I've tried to get rid of him several times, but he shows up, and in fact, he and his lovely wife, Debbie, who I met a year later in '73, we're going to go celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary in Hawaii this year, and I'm so excited about that. So, Steve and Debbie, thanks for everything you did in my life. I appreciate it. And then lastly, my wife, my better half, Christy. Christy has been around forever. In 1979, we got married, and I matriculated to WashU, and that's the year my life got better. I'm not sure whether it was the marriage or WashU, but it definitely got better that year, so I appreciate that. Christy, thank you for everything you've done in my life, for supporting me in everything I've done. And thank you again, Dean. We really appreciate that.
My journey as to how I ended up at Washington University is a little unique. I grew up very interested in travel. Since we didn't have a lot of money, the Air Force Academy became my dream place that I was going to go to school. I was going to go there and I was going to be in international relations. I wanted to be that person who sat at the desk and analyzed all those spyware pictures, so that was my plan. Well, in January of my senior year, they sent me for the obligatory eye test in Illinois. Well, as it turns out, I did not have the required depth perception to be able to fly a plane. The end of January, I have a disqualification letter from the Air Force Academy, and now I have nowhere to go to school. WashU was the one who really saved my life at that point by coming through with the financial aid package that I needed to be able to go to school. So that's the reason why I want to give back to WashU. I became more connected to the university during my junior and senior years when I was the news editor of Student Life. I definitely credit my success at Skechers with my ability to multitask and handle various projects all at once, thanks to having to figure out coordinating my work schedule, my study schedule, and my class schedule. In 1986, I went to live in New Jersey and work in the Empire State Building for a company called BBC. No, not the British Broadcasting Corporation, but a privately owned company that was at the leaderboard in kids' footwear. They even relocated me from St. Louis with a trip to Taiwan for a month to learn about footwear manufacturing. And so my love of international travel was born. I'm actually getting paid to do what I love to do. And so this has continued throughout my career until today. My political science and history background and the degrees that I have from Washington University were instrumental as I was doing this international travel. Because I understood the cultures and the background of the people I was working with, I was able to very quickly form successful partnerships. Business is all about partnerships. So I think that my arts and sciences education was really every bit as important as a business degree for what I set out to do. In my role at Skechers, very rarely am I meeting someone who intended to go into the footwear business. But this job has been exactly what I was meant to do for almost 40 years now, combining creative knowledge with global travel and daily international dealings. I think the university also fosters a natural curiosity that stays with you long after you graduate. We are energized by learning. To be successful in any business or career, I firmly believe that it's important that you learn something new about your area of expertise every day, or even somebody else's area that makes you better. Being acknowledged as a distinguished alumni is an incredible honor to me. But I have to thank the alumni who were already paving the way for WashU 50 years ago in the 1970s that created an endowment and the financial aid assistance that would allow people in my situation, like me, to be able to attend such a fine school and get the education that led me to the career that I have today. And I want to make sure that 50 years from now, there will be even more of these opportunities for qualified students to attend the university from all walks of life.
Kathy, for your impressive achievements in global business and marketing, and your continued meaningful engagement with WashU students and our community, I'm proud to recognize you as a distinguished alumna of Arts and Sciences. Congratulations.
That was a great video. Yes, thank you to the video team. I'm very grateful and honored to be here in the presence of so many accomplished men and women. And I also am just very grateful that we can all be here in person and that our little COVID interruptus period hopefully is over, because being able to get in person like this to celebrate the achievements of everybody is just very meaningful. And I also want to give my humble congratulations to my fellow award winners. This is just really so nice to be able to do this all in person. Reading everyone's biographies, I do feel a little bit like my first day at WashU, where I did feel definitely a little bit out of my league as a local high school student with blue-collar parents, being surrounded by so many people from the far reaches of the earth, different economic backgrounds and everything, but that's okay. I'm getting over it. I'm learning to deal with it. The generosity of the WashU community over 45 years ago completely changed my life. I am so grateful to have received the scholarship aid that provided a world-class education and exposure to so many different cultures and backgrounds that made me who I am today. I am also so thankful to my mentors who have given of their time and experience to help me grow. Just the value of the people in your life can't ever be underestimated. And I am so fortunate tonight that one of these key people is here. And when I found out she was going to be here, I was so excited. So Build-A-Bear founder and WashU benefactor Maxine Clark took an interest, yes, give it up for Maxine. Yes. You all know her, exactly. She took an interest in my career as a 23-year-old assistant footwear buyer at Venture and gave me the best advice that I really did not want to hear. And that was regarding the double standard of men's and women's socializing behavior and the challenges of getting ahead in a male-dominated industry. This was 40 years ago. Basically, she told me, never do anything to compromise others' respect for you. This advice has been paid forward countless times during my 30 years at Skechers, mentoring our future leaders. And it's as valuable today as it was then. Never do anything to compromise others' respect for you. I also want to thank my husband of 20 years, George Cartalis, for teaching me the importance of family as an only child, no brothers or sisters, and supporting me in every way possible. And I want to leave you with a quote from the actor Denzel Washington that just resonated with me. He said, "It's not about what you have or what you've accomplished. It's about who you've lifted up, who you've made better, and about what you've given back." I am incredibly proud to be part of the WashU community, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Morgan, Tom, and Kathy, for sharing your stories and insights with all of us tonight. Let's give them another round of applause. And now I'm delighted to introduce the first of our Dean's medalists. Each year, the Dean has the honor of selecting an individual or individuals whose dedication and support have had an exceptional impact on arts and sciences. Our first honoree, Georgie Lewis, has a storied history with our city and with Washington University. Georgie graduated from Washington University in 1947, and she has watched the university change and grow so remarkably over the decades, and she has chosen to be a part of the momentum by establishing the Georgie W. Lewis Career Development Professorships. These professorships are unique. They support rising stars as opposed to superstars yet within our humanities faculty at a crucial time in their careers, offering them funding for scholarly exploration, growth, and continued success. Georgie takes great pride in WashU, and I'll let her share what she has in mind with you now.
Well, my family founded St. Louis. They went up the Mississippi River. It took them 3 months to get to St. Louis from New Orleans. So they decided to settle there. And after they settled there, along came some of their friends and some relatives, and that's how the city started. That was about 15 generations ago. I grew up in Ladue, so I grew up on Glen Eagles Road in the St. Louis Country Club grounds. My family was the first family there. I was free. My bike and I could go anywhere and not check in. I went swimming about 3 to 4 times a day, rode my bike a number of miles, and it was an ideal way to grow up. What will I say that inspired me over the years? I think my parents. They were for education for me. They were wholesome people. I went to other universities first. I went to Chicago University, Vassar College, ended up at WashU. I loved WashU. I thought it was lovely. The professors I had there were exceptional. Then the professors nurtured us as students. I went into psychiatric social work. My first job was working with veterans. I believe strongly that if lay people knew psychiatry and what made people tick, you can recognize mental illness long before it shows up and thereby protect future people. I do believe in the power of Washington University. I believe in history. You know, those that don't know history are bound to repeat it. And it's absolutely true. You can recognize trends in our country. If you know history, you know what human beings are about to do in different cultures. It doesn't matter. Human beings are human beings. They do the same thing, no matter where they are, what generation they're in. Well, Washington U inspired me for sure. Not go further academically, but to watch its progress, to remember what I learned there, to believe in it. And I think I'm judging it more realistically now than I ever did when I was younger. I don't think I could step away and compare it to other universities and everything. Now I think I can, and I'm crazy about it. I want it to succeed. If I can do something that will help other people go to that university, I will feel fulfilled. I've been very, very fortunate. I guess you have to be a bit fortunate or you never get to 100. So I've been very lucky, I guess. For me to get an award from Washington U is an experience that I will value. And that is very special. And I didn't expect it. And I don't know that I deserve it, but I'm awfully, awfully happy to have it. And I think you made a big fuss over me, and I appreciate that. Everybody who gets that kind of treatment is lucky in life.
And Georgie, you absolutely deserve it. I'm so pleased to recognize Georgie for her generosity and dedication to our faculty and her passion for the powerful lessons taught by history and the humanities. I am delighted to award Georgie this Dean's Medal. Georgie regrets that she could not be here with us in person this evening, but her friend, Emily Thompson, has joined us to accept this award on her behalf.
Georgie wishes she could have been here tonight. She's an extraordinary human being that I've had the pleasure of knowing for the past 5 years. For 100 years old, she is who I look up to, who I want to be when I am older. It has just been a privilege to work with her. I spoke with her earlier this week, and she talked about how grateful she was to Dean Hu and to her professors and to everyone she's worked with at the university. She sends her best from Florida. She has family and friends watching from all around the world. So hello to Georgie, and thank you so much.
And now I'm pleased to introduce our second Dean's Medal recipient. I have had the pleasure of getting to know Karen Losso's class of 1954 through the National Council over the past few years. I'm continually inspired by her insight, commitment to St. Louis and its people, and her love for Washington University, Carolyn has positively impacted so many facets of our region through her career in leadership, education, and community-focused organizations. She has deep family ties to WashU, and we are proud to call one of them Professor Jonathan Lossos, my friend and my colleague in biology here. And she has committed her time, talents, and generous support to the students and faculty of arts and sciences in myriad ways. I hope you enjoy hearing Karen's story.
My mother never went to college, and she was determined that her children would have a college education. My father died during the Depression, and my mother was left with 3 kids, 6 and under. Washington U was a 15-minute walk from my house, and all of us in our family were fortunate to get scholarship help. Washington University gave me the opportunity to explore. It gave me the opportunity to meet people who were different from me, but who had ideals and hopes and dreams like I did. And it helped me decide there were lots of ways that I could make a difference. I had always loved school, education. I also loved politics, law. Washington U made it possible for me to touch base with all of that. Ultimately, it was education and teaching which won out. I got involved in something called the White House Conference on Education. Out of that grew great interest in parents as teachers, and Parents as Teachers is, of course, a unique organization working with families and children. I became a part of the Danforth Leadership Program. We called it the Leadership Center, which merged into Focus St. Louis. Because of what I was doing, I was asked to be involved with a number of organizations, such as the Missouri Botanical Garden, which I'm still involved with. Girl Scouting was a huge part of my life. I got asked to be on the board of Children's Hospital at the time when they were merging into BJC. So I've been so fortunate that my interests evolved, and I think gave me the opportunity to do the things which I love the most. And grateful because Washington University steered me in that direction. I started donating money the minute I started earning money, because I felt that Washington U gave me my life when they gave me that scholarship. Look where Washington University has come today. I mean, it's amazing. It is taking in people from all over the world who think that you can be involved no matter who you are. But they never forget that their home base is St. Louis. I learned that if you don't show up, you can't do anything. Showing up gives you the opportunity to get involved. Showing up gives you the opportunity to make a difference. I'm honored that the Dean and the selection committee think that I have made a difference to Washington University. And what could be more wonderful than that?
Karen, for your distinguished career focused on leadership and education, your outstanding service to the St. Louis community, and your devotion to helping all people reach their full potential, I'm delighted to present to you the Dean's Medal.
Thank you, Dean Hu, for this wonderful, incredible honor. I am so happy to accept it. And thank you also to WashU alumni for presenting it to me. As you all heard from the video, I am a child of the Delmar Loop. I spent my entire childhood in the Delmar Loop, but on the other direction was Washington University, the beloved alma mater of my father, who graduated with his second degree from WashU in 2019. Take that back. He graduated in 1919. And I looked down the street and saw Washington U and wondered, would I ever be able to get an education? Would I be able to go there like my father? And when WashU presented me with the scholarship, my life changed forever. WashU is an institution which, once they take you, they give more than you can possibly imagine. I looked at all my relatives, and I want to tell you that I have in my family 16 people who have various degrees and association with Washington U. I think that is an incredible number. When I first got my scholarship, Washington U was what was known as a streetcar college. That meant that they served mostly the people in the St. Louis region. But I watched the transformation of WashU from a streetcar college to a world-class university, one that benefited not only St. Louis, but most of us in this room today. And one of the benefits of that transformation was that my granddaughter, Hannah Schanzer, from North Carolina, came to Washington University. I soon learned what a Washington University education was like today. Hannah came with a passion for the environment, sustainability, but Washington U gave her the tools, the education, gave her the ability to know what to do in order to make a difference. Hannah, since leaving Washington University, has been with the Biden administration and the Department of Energy, the State Department of California and their energy department, and now she is building wind farms and solar farms in the Midwest. Hannah is Washington University's future. Hannah, where are you? Will you stand up there? I also want to take the privilege of introducing you a grandmother's privilege, to my other granddaughter, who also is making a difference in her life. She is mapping forest fires in the sky with satellites. Danielle Losses. My sincere thanks goes to my friends and family who are here with me tonight, who have always been here, and I thank you so much for coming. Who would have thought that little Carolyn Werner from the Del Mar Loop would one day be standing here in her 90th year accepting this wonderful award from Washington University. Thank you, Dean Hu, Washington University. Thank you for all you have done for me and my family and for the St. Louis region and for the world. I am humbled to accept this wonderful honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. Thank you, everyone, for joining us to celebrate our wonderful, distinguished alumni. They are dedicated, inspirational, and a source of pride for arts and sciences and the WashU community. I have so appreciated learning about their stories, their unique paths, motivations, and words of wisdom. I hope you have too. Thank you for all you do to place arts and sciences at the heart of this great institution. To everyone watching the live stream, we appreciate you joining us from afar. And to all of our attendees, please enjoy the rest of the evening.